In this video, I'm going to show you the basic process I use to change a rear pinion seal on an Outlander Can-Am, either a G2 or a G2L. It'll be pretty similar if you have a Renegade as well. So step one is just to confirm that the pinion seal is in fact leaking, which it is, and I like to lay out some of the tools that I'm going to use when I do the job. Here I'm looking for the most important tool, the impact gun. Ugga ugga. Haha. Just pointing to some of the bolts you'll have to undo. You want to undo all the five bolts around the diff, the 4 bolts that hold that little shield on. I also undo the shocks, and I'm going to undo the diff vent and tuck it up somewhere into the frame out of the way. It's also nice to take the tires off. Just get them out of your way. Makes stuff easier when you put it back together too. Once you're up in the air, you're going to want to line the rear yoke so that you can get a wrench on it, just like I'm showing in the video here. You can start loosening it with the box end, but when you get closer to the end of it, you're going to want to switch over to the open end, because sometimes your box end can become trapped if that yoke is seized to the diff, because not everything you're working on is going to look as new and as shiny as this bike here. Just showing you quickly the bolts I had to undo to be able to rotate this diff back and work on it. After your diff's all unbolted and your yoke slipped off, you're going to grab a pry bar and you should be able to rotate the diff back around over the frame rail. It saves you the time of unbolting the trailing arm, sway bar, and the axles, and usually doesn't break anything. What I've found recently is if your bike has a lift kit, or if it's a XMR and you're running big chunky tires and the axles are kind of beat up a little bit, so that they tend to fall apart when using this trick. So I would recommend disassembling the trailing arms, sway bar, and axle shafts separately if you have those parts on your bike. It's also important to remember to remove that little O-ring. Once an O-ring's crushed, it's no good anymore. And here I'm just checking the yoke to make sure that the yoke's still good. If it catches your fingernail, it means that the yoke is worn and has to be replaced. If you have an older bike, you might be lucky, you might have a wear ring. It's much cheaper than replacing a whole yoke. These are the parts I needed for this job, minus the washer. And here I just demonstrating how I install the seal. There's no fancy tool, just use a hammer. Work the edge of the seal into the diff. I find when installing the seal into the diff, it helps if the seal and the diff are both dry. Otherwise, the seal likes to pop back out. Then prepping for reassembly after you got that seal in there, you're going to take some grease. I'm using triple guard here. And you're going to lube that seal up really well. After you lube the seal up really well, you're going to lube the drive shaft, the yoke, up really well. Then I like to use a little anti-seize to lube the splines of the pinion, makes it easier to go together, and it makes it easier for the next guy to take it apart. That way your yoke doesn't get stuck to the pinion, like I said, can happen and then trap your wrench. There's a phrase that a lot of mechanics say in the shop, and when you work at a dealer, you'll find that you or somebody you know are often the next guy. Always use a new bolt when you're assembling the drive shaft back to the pinion. It has that yellow Scotch grip on it, and Loctite doesn't hold the same. Installation's the reverse of removal. Make sure you get that pinion bolt nice and tight.